All right, we're going to go to an audience question now. Janet, you want to ask our guest expert something. What would you like to ask?
Well, Kimberly, we have a master ensuite bathroom, and we're just looking for some ideas for freshening it up.
Okay, and Janet and I met, in the commercial break, and we talked about the fact that she's only planning on living there maybe 2 or 3 years. I hope your husband knows that you're only planning on living there 2 or 3 years. Does he know that? I didn't just let something out of the bag. Okay, good. Hate when that happens. So you want to be really practical, because in 2 or 3 years, you may not recognize the value of a complete gut and redo. So she wants to maintain the tile that she has and keep the layout of the bathroom and all that kind of stuff, which I think is fine if you're only going to live there a couple of years. But I think there are some things that could be improved. For example, over here in this little niche, and we know how designers feel about little niches anyway, we've got a basket with toilet paper. And the toilet itself is about 348 miles away. So that's a run that you don't want to have to do. I'm thinking, can you say this on TV? I don't know.
I've said worse on TV.
I know.
That's
okay, so, and I think the countertop is pretty dated. I think that would be somewhere you could put a little bit of money, and the faucets are somewhat dated. I think you could put a little bit of money there and appreciate it a little bit more while you're living there. So my suggestion is, let's get a really big, beautiful basket instead of having a niche. Then you'll have a huge basket. Fill it with all of your fluffy white towels, because that'll look nice for resale anyway. Get a nice piece of artwork hanging above it. Add window coverings at the top, something simple, and I would go to a fabric outlet place. Don't go crazy on, spending a lot of money there. Clean up what you've got on display there. You've got some dried flowers and some potpourri. Try to eliminate anything that's dried or dead in the house. Get rid of it.
Always a good rule.
Yeah, I hate having dead stuff in the house. Yeah, I think new faucets would be wonderful, and the price point can be great if you're shopping, Delta, Home Depot, that kind of thing. New hardware would be great, and maybe get yourself a little carpet so you just eliminate some of that pink tile that's everywhere. And then just as a compliment to pink, I happen to really love browns. They have the weight of black, but they're not as heavy and they're not as forceful. So I think some pretty mink brown colors in your draperies on your carpet might help to make that pink look like it was a choice. Versus something you're trying to work around, because we talked about you feeling like you needed kind of work around it. You can't work around when there's so much of it. So something like buckhorn chinchilla or marshland or flagstone, all Benjamin Moore colors, would be really pretty accents with that pink color, I think. So lovely space.
You know what's going to happen though? The husband will be like, oh, let's just paint the walls and let's call it a day.
That does happen sometimes. That does happen sometimes.